This is Hank for the Wildflower Bee Farm. In servant beekeeping, we study a great deal the entrances of the hives to try to understand what might be happening. This is a hive called Hive 79, and I want you to just watch it for a bit. I'll let it go for just over a minute. I'm going to show you 3 different hive entrances, and perhaps you can sort of have a look. Now, I'll tell you the history of this one. This one was provided a queen, Russian queen, after a split. It is just under a month old, and you can see it's bringing in pollen. The question first is what percentage of pollen is being brought in. That might help. But also the general behavior of the bees, what they're doing, what I call the psychological status of the hive. Are they seem like they're organized, under control, out of control? And the general impression you get while watching this hive with regard to volume of bees and so on. So this is Hive 79. Again, it was installed with a new queen and a couple of frames of brood just less than a month ago. Now this is what we call Hive 74, and it was installed with a new queen about 5 weeks ago. Prior to this video being taken, you can see it's absolutely exploding. This hive has already been used to split. I've used it for splits, made 3 hives from this hive, and also I've used it to make the 3 others just by using single frames. Within a week, if I open up the second level box, I've had to add a box very quickly. The second level box, the queen is up laying eggs all the time. So this is a really prolific Russian queen. Now, when I watch this entrance, I can see a lot of different things. A lot of drones, which represents health to me. Bees engaged in a lot of washboarding, which tells me they have nothing else to do. They're kind of, extra labor, free labor. So this hive is exploding. I don't know what to do with this hive because I'm not going to add a 3rd box, but I could probably add 3, 4, or 5 boxes. But we all know what happens to monster hives with varroa mites, so I'm going to be probably pushing this down to a single box soon. Not sure how, but that's the goal. So watch the entrance. You can barely see it. There's so many bees, and analyze it compared to the last one we looked at. You can certainly see some differences as well as the pollen being brought in at a high level. Now let's look at our 3rd one. This one's called Hive 55C. It was a split made about 2 weeks ago. And there's some drones coming out, which is surprising, but you can also watch with the bees coming in, very little pollen. I count less than 10% pollen being brought in. In fact, some cases I get 0. So I find this one somewhat fascinating. The frame obviously had a drone eggs because they're now hatching. There's some pollen. There's some more pollen. That's interesting. There's 2. Looks like I got about 20% on that one. So I watch in different sections to see how accurate it is. So the more sampling of 10s that you do, the more accurate. And then you ask yourself, well, we know for sure she's not laying eggs yet. Unless we made a mistake and put a queen in here when we did the split, but I don't believe so. So what do you notice by watching this? What does it tell you? You can see there's a bee on the outside fanning. Looks like bringing in food, or is this, bringing in cool air. But could this be also, look at some of the bees coming in that pattern. Although they have pollen, many of them, you wonder if some of this is an orientation flight. And if I could have pulled the camera back a little bit, we could see that and the telltale signs of an orientation flight. And that's one of the downsides to doing such close-ups of entrances. You miss the flight patterns of the bees, which can tell you many things. I'm really interested in the number of drones coming in. So next week we'll be opening up this hive to see, did a queen make it as far as laying eggs, and is this a healthy hive? And it'll be included in future videos. So that's the servant beekeeping look at how to analyze on an initial sort of simple level the entrance of a hive. We're hoping again to incorporate that into some of our Vosker cameras, where we'll be doing some AI work hopefully soon. But that is sort of the visual way that I start looking at the entrance to a hive with the servant beekeeping method. Again, this is Hank at the Wildflower Bee Farm. You have an amazing day.